When deciding whether or not a function is linear, you can look at three different representations of that type of function. The first representation you might see is an equation, and a linear function has a degree of 1. The degree is the exponent, and when I say that the degree is 1, that means the highest exponent that we have is a 1. So when I look at these two equations, I can see that on the x variable, my exponent is 1, and I don't have any other x's with any other exponents. In standard form, I can see that the same thing is happening. My x variable has an exponent of 1, and there are no other exponents. In fact, the y doesn't have an exponent other than 1 either. So when your degree is 1, when the highest exponent is 1, your function is linear. So you would say that this function is linear. This function is linear because the highest exponent, which is the degree of our function, is 1. When we look at the graph, we notice that the graph of a linear function is a line. So straight line goes up, slope is positive, straight line goes down, slope is negative. Either way, the graph of a linear function creates a line, and we would say this function is linear. This function is linear because its graph is a line. And then finally, if you're not looking at an equation or a graph, a table can tell you if you have a linear function by taking the first differences. And what we're going to do is, for starters, make sure that your x values are in order and also have a pattern, right? So we're just counting by ones along the number line, -2, -1, 0, 1, 2. And we're going to look at our y values and look at the differences between our y values. So I'm going to subtract. 5 minus 3 is 2. 3 minus 1, also 2. 1 minus -1 is 2. Notice I did minus the negative. It's always minus, even when it's minus a negative. And then -1 minus -3, also 2. We took the differences the first time, and they were constant, meaning they gave me the same value. So we would say this function is linear. Function is linear because the first differences are constant, which is our math term for meaning they stay the same, constant. So to wrap that up, again, if you have a linear function, your equation will have degree 1, your graph will form a line, or your table will show that your first differences are constant.